This is the largest clam in the world. Harvesting it is an arduous challenge, yet its value can reach hundreds of dollars for a single one. This is the geoduck, a living wonder of the ocean, with a siphon nearly a meter long that inspires awe, yet often leads to misunderstanding. But behind that proud, towering siphon lies a multi-million-dollar industry worth over 100 million USD each year, where this colossal clam transforms into a coveted delicacy, sought after by gourmets across the globe. A magical journey of the geoduck begins in the icy northern seas, where each clam is carefully harvested by skilled divers from deep beneath the tidal flats and seabed. Instead of entering noisy industrial production lines, the geoduck heads straight into the world of fine dining, where its sweet, crisp white flesh and distinctive long siphon are elevated into a luxurious sashimi delicacy. Each translucent slice glistens under the light, leaving the entire banquet table in awe. Join Agriculture Insight as we embark on a voyage into the mysterious depths of the ocean, uncovering the hidden life of the geoduck, from a silent dweller buried deep in the cold sands to a global symbol of culinary luxury. Let's begin. Each year, the world harvests and farms only around 8,000 tons of geoduck, a modest figure compared to the immense demand from international markets. This giant clam exists only in a few cold water regions, concentrated in Washington State, Alaska, USA, and British Columbia, Canada. Because of its limited distribution, the United States and Canada dominate the global supply, accounting for over 70% of total production, earning the crown as kings of the premium seafood trade. China is the largest consumer, followed by Japan and South Korea, places where geoduck is not only considered a rare delicacy, but also a nourishing food closely associated with health and vitality. The geoduck's fame lies in its extraordinary siphon, which can stretch more than 1 meter long, a strange yet captivating feature. Buried deep beneath the sand, it functions like a massive biological machine, capable of filtering hundreds of liters of water every single day. And it's precisely this crisp, sweet, translucent siphon meat that has elevated geoduck into the realm of luxury dining, with prices reaching up to 200 USD per kilogram. Once dismissed as a humble, low-value clam, geoduck has risen to become a symbol of fine dining and culinary prestige. In Japan and China, it is revered as the sweetest and most flavorful of all clams, praised for its delicate sweetness, refreshing crunch, and unmatched texture. And now, without keeping you waiting any longer, let us dive straight into the depths and witness the thrilling harvest of geoduck beneath the ocean floor. Unlike other clams that can be harvested en masse with nets or dredges, the geoduck is regarded as a million-dollar treasure of the ocean and must be collected in a completely different way. Before its siphon, stretching more than a meter long, can be lifted from beneath the sand, a rigorous process of underwater population surveys takes place. Professional divers descend into the icy seabed, searching for subtle signs to measure the density, size, and distribution of these giant clams. The data is then used to determine sustainable harvest quotas, ensuring that only a sufficient amount is taken while maintaining ecological balance. It is, in essence, a true treasure hunt, one that demands technical skill, meticulous care, and a profound sense of responsibility toward the ocean. When the survey is complete, geoduck divers begin a job that is both prestigious and punishing, considered the highest-paying profession in the seafood industry, yet also one of the most perilous beneath the ocean. They don diving suits weighing nearly 40 kilograms, equipped with high-pressure water hoses to break apart the dense sand where geoducks take root as deep as 2 meters. Each jet of water works like a drill, loosening the seabed so the diver can carefully slip a hand in and extract the giant clam. the ocean's very own million-dollar treasure. Yet the work is far from simple. Many divers have suffered severe injuries, and some have nearly lost their lives from surfacing too quickly. Freezing water temperatures, murky visibility, and crushing pressure at depth are constant threats. Harvesting requires extreme care, for even a single mistake can snap the geoduck's iconic siphon, drastically reducing its market value. Skill and experience are priceless here, and also the reason why a seasoned diver can earn as much as 80,000 USD in a single harvesting season, a figure many can only dream of. Few realize that behind every geoduck served on a luxury dining table lies the sweat, endurance, and danger faced by these deep-sea warriors as they toil in the frigid currents. However, geoducks are not only harvested through these treasure hunts in the frigid depths of the sea. Today, to meet the enormous demand of the market, humans have developed artificial farming systems, hatching larvae in laboratories and then planting them in tidal flats, where they take 5 to 7 years to reach market size. To begin this long journey, geoduck hatcheries play a vital role. Here, millions of tiny larvae are raised under strictly controlled conditions before transforming into healthy juvenile clams. These hatcheries ensure a sustainable supply of seed stock, securing stable production for a massive global market. After just a few months, the young clams detach from their substrates and begin to burrow into the sand, marking the start of a new growth phase. After the hatchery stage, juvenile geoducks measuring only a few millimeters are lifted from the tanks to prepare for life at sea. They undergo a high-pressure rinse to remove any remaining mud and sand clinging to their fragile shells. Next, workers carefully count and record the number of seed clams, which can reach millions in a single batch before preparing them for outplanting. The most favorable time is during the first low tide of spring, when wide tidal flats are exposed, providing ideal conditions for the young clams to settle and adapt to the natural environment. After careful selection, juvenile geoducks are released onto tidal flats in special protective mesh bags. Each bag holds just the right number of clams and is buried deep into the mud, allowing them to safely burrow while avoiding natural predators such as crabs, flounder, and ducks. Once inside the sand, the young clams dig down and remain there permanently. Because geoducks do not move, wherever they are planted is where they will stay for life. Their density is strictly calculated, averaging 80,000 to 90,000 per acre, about 0.4 hectares, striking a balance between maximizing yield and preventing overcrowding. During their early years, they can burrow about 1 foot deeper each year, eventually reaching a maximum depth of 3 feet beneath the sand. From the tidal flats where they have been nurtured for 5 to 7 years, the journey moves on to its most demanding stage, harvesting. In the shallow waters, workers combine high-pressure water jets with manual digging to extract the geoducks from the sand. On muddy tidal flats, the technique of using high-pressure water hoses becomes a powerful tool. Workers balance precariously on the soft ground, driving the hose directly into the spot where the geoduck anchors itself deep beneath the surface. The jet of water breaks apart the packed sand, transforming the hard seabed into a liquid stream that surrounds the clam. Once the sand turns soft and loose, harvesters skillfully whip in their hands or use small shovels to peel away thin layers, carefully lifting the geoduck intact. The greatest advantage of this method is that it saves physical effort and significantly shortens harvesting time. However, harvesting on tidal flats also carries harsh challenges. A sudden rising tide can quickly reclaim the exposed ground, submerging the entire area once more and sweeping away all the labor and equipment in an instant. In contrast, in areas with thick sand and firm ground, manual digging is the preferred method. Workers place a metal tube around the suspected location of a geoduck, turning it into a shield that keeps the soil stable and prevents mud and sand from collapsing back into the pit. Inside this circle, they patiently use small shovels or even bare hands, carefully peeling away layer after layer of sand. At times, even the faintest vibration traveling through the mud is a subtle signal that the clam shell lies hidden below. Though laborious and time-consuming, this method minimizes the risk of breaking the long siphon or cracking the shell, critical factors that determine the clam's market value. Each deliberate, precise movement feels like a silent dialogue between humans and the ocean. And the ultimate reward is a giant geoduck, lifted intact, its shell gleaming, ready for the next stage of its journey to the tables of fine dining. Farming and harvesting geoduck is a job that is physically demanding and entirely manual. Workers must wade through mud, battle cold sea winds, and labor in rhythm with the unforgiving tides. Yet in return, the effort yields one of the most luxurious seafoods in the world, bringing immense economic value and commanding high demand in premium markets, especially across Asia. Whether harvested by deep diving, high-pressure water jets, or manual digging, geoducks enter a meticulous handling process immediately after being brought up, ensuring their full market value is preserved. Heavy mesh bags, bulging with these wonders of the ocean, are hauled onto the deck, seawater dripping and shimmering in the sunlight, as if a hidden treasure had just been lifted from the deep. Once aboard, workers quickly sort them by size and weight. Undersized clams are either discarded or returned to the sea, while market-ready geoducks are neatly arranged in specialized plastic trays. A flow of cold seawater is then flushed across the trays, washing away sand and mud while instantly cooling the delicate flesh inside. Next, each clam is transferred into circulating seawater tanks on deck, maintained at 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, with salinity levels of 28 to 32%, closely matching their natural habitat. Here, the geoducks continue filtering water, effectively self-purging their digestive systems to keep the meat pristine. As the vessel nears port, they are moved into oxygenated containers to ensure vitality is maintained. From the docks, the journey shifts to cold chain storage and transport. Each shipment is carefully packed into insulated boxes with chilled seawater and dry ice. Given their immense value, every box is sealed and rigorously inspected before being loaded onto refrigerated trucks bound for the airport. In less than 48 hours, these living blocks of gold arrive at premium markets in China, Japan, and South Korea, ready to grace the sashimi menus of five-star restaurants, a testament to a seamless chain of precision that stretches from remote tidal flats to the most luxurious dining tables. China is now regarded as the world's abalone factory, accounting for up to 85% of global production thanks to large-scale industrialized farming with competitive costs. In contrast, South Korea stands out with its focus on quality and building a strong national brand, creating a stable and highly valued market. On the other side of the globe, Australia does not chase volume, but instead positions abalone as a symbol of luxury, producing only 1/200 of China's output, yet commanding prices 5 to 10 times higher thanks to its intensely sweet flavor, firm texture, and absolute safety. Together with sea cucumber, shark fin, and lobster, abalone is ranked among the 4 great treasures of the sea, a symbol of rarity and opulence. Beyond its richness in protein, minerals, omega-3, and essential amino acids, abalone has conquered gourmet palates with its delicate sweetness, lingering umami, and uniquely tender crisp texture unlike any other seafood. Moreover, its long farming cycle of 18 months to 3 years significantly drives up production costs. Each year, the legal abalone farming and processing industry generates more than $2 billion globally, with the highest end segment reaching premium prices of $500 to $1,000 per kilogram. Now, join us as we explore the abalone farms, the very birthplace of this extraordinary journey of what is known as the soft gold of the ocean. The journey to building a $1 million abalone farm begins with one essential and highly critical step: selecting the broodstock for the spawning season. To produce generations of healthy abalones with fast growth and high survival rates, broodstock must be carefully chosen, each weighing between 120 and 200 grams, aged 2 to 3 years, with bright shells free of deformities, and showing quick responses to stimulation. Once the ideal candidates are selected, they are separated into specialized spawning tanks to undergo artificial fertilization. Abalones reproduce through external fertilization. Both eggs and sperm are released into the water through the genital pore in liquid form. On farms, breeders first collect sperm from tanks containing the males, then introduce it into incubation tanks where hundreds of thousands of eggs from the females are waiting. The water temperature is kept stable at 20 to 22 degrees Celsius with gentle aeration and almost no current, since even a small deviation could ruin the entire batch. After about 10 to 15 minutes, the eggs are successfully fertilized and begin the process of cell division. About 18 to 24 hours after fertilization, abalone eggs hatch into trochophore larvae, spherical in shape, moving with cilia, and sustained by yolk reserves. Over the next 3 to 5 days, the larvae develop into the veliger stage, beginning to form a thin shell and a creeping foot while still swimming freely in the water. At the late veliger stage, when they are ready to settle, the larvae are transferred into tanks equipped with special substrates, such as PVC plates or rough tiles coated with benthic microalgae, serving both as an attachment surface and as their first food source. Over the next 2 to 3 months, they gradually lose the ability to swim freely, undergo morphological changes, develop a harder calcium shell, and begin to resemble miniature abalones. At this point, firmly attached to the substrate, they are called juvenile abalones and officially enter the grow-out phase. From here, abalone farming moves into a more specialized stage with various models and methods depending on climate, geography, and infrastructure. However, in general, it can be divided into 2 main systems: land-based farming and sea cage culture. In countries such as Europe, Australia, the United States, and South Africa, where offshore conditions are often unstable, land-based farming has become the preferred method. Abalones are raised in closed recirculating tanks, with some farms adopting multi-tiered, semicircular tanks designed in a stepped layout to save space, simplify cleaning, and facilitate harvesting. The tanks are usually lined with composite materials or built from concrete and stocked with seaweeds such as red algae or kelp as a natural food source. Water temperature is maintained at around 18 to 22 degrees Celsius with continuous aeration systems to provide oxygen and simulate gentle water flow. In this method, abalones are fed directly with fresh seaweed or with seaweed harvested and preserved in advance, then distributed into each tank according to feeding rations. Some facilities also use ground-dried algae or algae pellets, making it easier to control quality and extend storage time. Meanwhile, in Asian countries such as China, South Korea, and Japan, where coastlines are long, seas are sheltered, salinity remains stable year-round, and the climate is temperate, sea cage farming is far more common and widely applied. In this method, juvenile abalones age 2 to 3 months, once they reach a size of 1.5 to 2 centimeters, are transferred into suspended baskets or multi-tiered cages in the ocean. Each cage contains multiple compartments, anchored beneath floating rafts in areas with gentle currents and clean seawater. Feeding is carried out once a day, often supported by mechanical equipment. Kelp, the main food source for abalone, is harvested and bundled into large bunches, placed on steel racks or haying trays, then lowered into each cage using cranes or mini hoists. This method reduces labor, distributes seaweed more evenly, and ensures abalones in all cage levels have access to food. Compared to land-based systems, sea cage farming excels in scale and output by making use of vast areas, lower costs, and nutrient-rich natural seawater. One reason why China and South Korea remain world leaders. However, in terms of quality, land-based abalones from Australia and the United States can fetch 1.5 to 2 times higher prices thanks to their uniformity, reduced microbial risk, and strict environmental control. Compared to seafood like oysters, scallops, or green mussels, which can be harvested in just a few months, abalone requires at least 18 months to 3 years from its larval stage. Only when they reach a length of 6 to 12 centimeters, with a uniformly hardened shell, thick flesh, and stable weight, are they considered ready for harvest, marking the culmination of a long and meticulous farming journey. A harvesting process begins by lifting individual abalone trays from the sea, using cranes or automatic winches. Each tray usually holds around 200 to 300 abalones clinging tightly, weighing several dozen kilograms, so mechanical support is required to ensure safety and to prevent the abalones from falling off. Immediately after, workers carefully detach the abalones from the trays or rearing racks using specialized tools, taking care not to damage the foot, the most valuable part of the meat. Due to their extremely strong grip, many must be pried off with thin, specialized blades, and workers must handle them with precision to avoid tearing the flesh, which would reduce their market value. Next, the abalones undergo preliminary cleaning of their outer shells to remove algae, silt, and small parasites attached to the surface. They are usually rinsed with clean seawater or a mild disinfectant solution to minimize bacteria and help preserve freshness before the sorting stage. Here, the abalones are placed onto automated conveyor systems where each individual is separated according to size and weight. This meticulous grading not only accommodates diverse packaging needs, but also meets the strict standards of different markets. For example, Japan favors perfectly uniform abalones, while China prefers larger sizes to serve in high-end restaurants. Finally, after sorting, the abalones are packed into foam boxes with oxygen supply or kept chilled, then transported to processing plants or distribution centers, ready for the next stage of their journey to dining tables around the world, particularly to high-end restaurants where absolute freshness is required. As soon as they arrive at the processing plant, the crates of live abalones are moved by forklifts directly into large cold water tanks, equipped with continuous aeration systems to maintain dissolved oxygen levels and reduce stress. This stage allows the abalones to recover after long transport and ensures the meat retains optimal freshness before processing. After this recovery soak, the crates are transferred to the processing line, where workers use specialized tools to carefully detach each abalone from the plastic trays or rearing racks. The next step is cleaning, a highly critical stage. Abalones are first scrubbed manually with soft brushes to remove algae, sand, and debris from the shell surface. They are then placed into rotary drum washing machines equipped with high-pressure water jets for a final thorough rinse. This process not only ensures food safety and hygiene, but also enhances the appearance of the abalones before further processing. Once the abalones are thoroughly cleaned, workers proceed to separate the meat from the shell using specialized knives. At the same time, they remove the viscera, digestive glands, and the dark-colored gut, parts that are not edible. This step requires great skill and experience to avoid tearing the flesh or damaging the soft fringe around the body, which is rich in nutrients. After being separated, the abalone meat is neatly arranged into stainless steel trays and placed into blast freezers at temperatures ranging from -40 degrees Celsius to -60 degrees Celsius. This rapid freezing method preserves the natural texture of the meat and prevents microbial growth. It is the most common preservation technique, extending storage life without the need for chemical additives. After freezing, abalones can be packaged either whole or sliced, depending on market demand. The packaging used is typically vacuum-sealed bags or molded plastic trays, ensuring that flavor, moisture, and food safety are preserved throughout transportation and distribution. For premium canned abalone products, the pristine white meat, after thorough cleaning, is carefully inspected by hand and eye to ensure it is free from defects. Each piece is then weighed with precision down to the gram to guarantee uniformity across every can, a crucial requirement in high-end markets such as Japan, the United States, and Singapore. Finally, the finished cans are labeled with detailed information on origin, production date, and expiration date before being boxed and shipped worldwide. China, the undisputed king of the garlic world. Despite repeated allegations of using prison labor in its production chain, the country still churns out over 20 million tons of garlic every year, dominating more than 80% of the global supply and exporting to nearly every continent. And here's a fascinating fact you might not know. Garlic is an asexual plant. That means over the centuries, the quality and traits of the clove you're holding in your hand still carry the exact genetic imprint of its ancestors from generations past. But garlic isn't just biologically fascinating, it's nutritionally powerful too. It contains allicin, a powerful compound known to boost immunity, help prevent colds, and act as a natural biological shield that repels hungry insects in the fields, reducing the need for excessive pesticides. Interestingly, despite its humble nature, Americans aren't too fond of garlic cloves that look rough or imperfect. That's why Christopher Ranch cleverly tapped into this preference, focusing on producing higher quality, locally grown garlic, a strategy that helped the brand stand strong and weather the storm of cheap garlic imports from China. So, what do you think? Is overwhelming quantity or lasting quality the true measure of success in modern agriculture? And no matter where it's grown, the journey of garlic always begins in the fields, where around November, the first seed cloves are gently planted into the soil, marking the start of a slow but promising growing season. After about 7 to 8 months, when garlic fields begin to turn golden and the outer leaves start to dry, that's the familiar signal that farmers are about to reap the well-earned reward for their hard work. Harvest season has arrived. One key difference in garlic harvesting compared to other crops is that farmers deliberately stop irrigation a few weeks in advance, allowing the stems and leaves to naturally wilt in the field before bringing in the harvesting machinery. Unlike the heavy-duty machines used for harvesting potatoes, garlic is harvested using a specialized bulb harvester, a machine designed to gently dig up, lightly clean, and transport field-dried garlic bulbs in one continuous process, with minimal human handling. A thin, sharp cutting blade glides gently beneath the soil, lifting the garlic bulbs from the ground with precision. Immediately afterward, a vibrating shaft or shaker table helps shake off any remaining soil around the bulbs while also separating the dried stems and leaves. These dried plant parts, which hold no commercial value, are discharged at the back, either left to decompose naturally on the field or collected for composting. With high capacity, a machine like this can harvest between 10 to 20 tons of garlic per day, depending on soil type and bulb dryness. It's an ideal solution for large-scale garlic production areas that supply industrial processing chains, such as peeling, oil extraction, drying, or freezing. However, large-scale harvesting often leads to uneven quality, which is why, for the premium market, each bulb must be hand-harvested, because there's simply no place for misshapen or unattractive garlic cloves. After being pulled, garlic is arranged in neat rows on the field, with the bulbs facing inward and the leaves overlapping to create shade, protecting them from harsh sunlight that could damage the skin or cause neck burn. Over about 5 to 10 days, the garlic gradually dries thanks to the sun and wind. Its skin tightens, becomes lighter in color, and its natural aroma becomes noticeably stronger. Garlic can only be harvested within a short window of a few weeks, as leaving it in the ground too long causes the bulbs to split, lose dryness, and diminish in flavor, making it crucial for farmers to complete the entire process within this narrow golden window to preserve crop quality. Although this process is more labor-intensive and time-consuming, it yields garlic bulbs that meet high commercial standards, easier to store, easier to sell, and more appealing to consumers who are willing to pay up to 50% more than the base price. At the end of the harvest season, truckloads of garlic roll toward the processing plant, where these pungent bulbs begin their next chapter, transforming into flavorful, convenient products, with enough punch to keep any vampire far, far away. As they arrive at the factory, tons of garlic still carrying the warm scent of sunlit fields are greeted by forklifts unloading towering crates into the warehouse, a resting place before the bulbs begin their journey through a magical production process. After their resting time in the warehouse, each crate of garlic is gradually awakened and moved to the pre-processing area. Here, the bulbs are gently poured onto conveyor belts where everything begins to reveal their destined path. Rotating shafts then work to loosen and remove dirt and debris from the garlic bulbs, preparing them for the next steps in processing. In modern factories, sorting is carried out using a vibrating mesh system, where each garlic bulb rolls across screens with standardized mesh sizes. Only those with uniform size, dry skin, and no bruises make it through this first checkpoint. Amid the gentle hum of the conveyor line is a constant rhythm of inspection. As each garlic bulb passes through, it is carefully examined one last time before officially entering the path of processing. After clearing the initial screening, the garlic bulbs are further sorted based on their intended processing purpose, with criteria such as color, size, and skin condition. At this stage, no machine can replace the keen, experienced eyes of skilled workers who can inspect and make decisions on up to 200,000 pounds of garlic each day. The plump, dry-skinned garlic bulbs playfully nicknamed beauty queens of the field, are sent to the whole bulb packing line, where their appearance is carefully refined down to the smallest detail. The garlic passes through a size sorting machine, a multi-tiered vibrating screen system with different mesh sizes. Smaller bulbs fall through to the lower tiers, while medium and large ones are retained on their respective levels. Each tier has its own chute, directing the garlic to corresponding packing stations, ensuring perfect uniformity in every finished bag. In large-scale factories, this system can process up to 3 to 5 tons of garlic per hour, without a single bulb being touched by human hands. Not every customer has the patience or time to peel each garlic clove individually, which is why pre-peeled garlic products were created to offer quick, convenient, and time-saving solutions for modern living. Their journey begins inside a spinning machine, resembling a giant wok, where each garlic bulb is gently, yet decisively caught in a swirling motion. This rotation causes the outer layers to peel away, revealing the cloves still tightly clustered together inside. Immediately afterward, each clove is guided into a steaming chamber, where warm steam envelops every surface, penetrating every crevice of the skin, softening the thin outer layer until it's ready to be peeled away. Next, the garlic passes over a vibrating table, where carefully calibrated air pressure gently loosens the peeling skin without damaging the pure white cloves inside. The loosened garlic skins are not wasted. Instead, they are collected and recycled as nutritious feed for livestock, contributing to sustainable farming practices. Immediately afterward, the garlic is passed through an optical sorting machine, a modern device that uses light technology to precisely inspect each clove, detecting and removing those with defects, damage, or that fail to meet standards for color and size, ensuring satisfaction even for the grumpiest consumers. Garlic that meets the stringent quality standards undergoes a thorough washing process to remove any remaining impurities, followed by careful drying to preserve its freshness and flavor, before being meticulously packaged and prepared for distribution to kitchens around the world. The innovative marketing strategy for pre-peeled garlic products has captured up to 25% of the market share compared to traditional whole garlic bulbs, even though this method may cause the garlic to lose some of its essence. The unique aroma of garlic will lead you on a different journey, slower, deeper, and ending with a fragrance that's truly unmistakable. First, once the garlic cloves have been carefully sorted to ensure uniformity, they are seasoned according to specific recipes that typically include olive oil, sea salt, black pepper, and aromatic herbs such as rosemary or thyme. These ingredients are carefully mixed to enhance the natural flavor of the garlic and add subtle layers of taste. The seasoned cloves are then evenly spread out on large trays or arranged meticulously on conveyor belts to ensure consistent roasting. Following this preparation, the trays or conveyor belts transport the cloves into the industrial roasting oven, where controlled heat and airflow work together to slowly and evenly roast the garlic to perfection. Like baking an apple pie, controlling the temperature is the most important factor. The roasting temperature and duration are carefully adjusted, typically ranging from 160 to 180 degrees Celsius for 20 to 40 minutes, to ensure the cloves cook evenly while preserving their flavor and tenderness. In that warmth and darkness, the natural sugars in the garlic gradually transform, creating a glossy honey-brown color. The sharpness nearly disappears, replaced by a mild sweetness, nuttiness, and a subtle smoky aroma, reminiscent of a mysterious savory jam. Although garlic offers many health benefits when consumed in moderation, about 1 to 2 cloves per day. Excessive intake or combining it with certain medications, such as blood thinners, blood pressure drugs, or alcohol, can cause side effects like increased bleeding, excessive blood pressure reduction, or stomach irritation. Therefore, maintaining a balanced intake is advisable for good health. After coming out of the oven, the roasted garlic cloves are immediately transferred to the cooling area. There, an industrial fan system continuously blows cool air over the surface of the garlic, rapidly reducing its temperature. Timely cooling not only preserves the cloves' soft texture and necessary moisture, but also prevents microbial growth, thereby extending shelf life. Finally, each fragrant garlic clove undergoes thorough inspection to ensure quality and consistency before being carefully packaged and distributed to markets worldwide, ready to enhance kitchens everywhere. And that's the magical journey of each garlic clove, from the field to your table, bringing natural flavor and the power to ward off any vampires lurking in your kitchen. Before being taken to the factory, sesame seeds undergo a preliminary cleaning process near the harvesting area. Although it's just one of the initial steps, for sesame, a seed as small as a pinhead, light and extremely fragile, unlike corn or soybeans, which are large, firm, and easy to handle, sesame requires an extremely precise cleaning system. Ultrafine mesh, high-frequency vibration, and multi-layer air blowers, strong enough to remove dry husks and dust, yet gentle enough not to lose the seeds. Some modern systems can process 300 to 500 kilograms per hour, removing up to 99.5% of impurities in a single pass. Here, cleaning isn't just about removing debris, it's about selecting the purest part of the entire harvest. Once sorted, the sesame seeds are transferred to the bagging area. They are packed into large sacks weighing between 30 and 50 kilograms, making them easier to store, handle, and transport to the factories that produce sesame oil, tahini, and halva. Before being pressed into golden drops of oil, sesame seeds must go through an essential purification ritual, a thorough washing process in large water tanks. Here, hundreds of kilograms of tiny seeds are continuously stirred in clean water. Dust, bits of husk, and fine impurities are all swept away, while the shape and integrity of the seeds remain fully intact. The entire washing system operates in a closed, automated cycle, allowing for fast and efficient cleaning without damaging the seeds. After washing, the seeds are poured into ultrafine stainless steel mesh baskets to drain. After being thoroughly washed and drained, the sesame seeds are moved to the drying stage for complete dehydration. Hot air is evenly distributed from multiple directions, allowing the seeds to dry quickly without cracking or scorching. This process usually takes 20 to 40 minutes, depending on the initial moisture content and equipment capacity. Before we discover how those golden drops of sesame oil are pressed, let's first take a fascinating detour into the process where sesame seeds are transformed into silky smooth tahini and sweet, melt-in-your-mouth halva. The tahini making process begins with the awakening of sesame seeds in the roasting chamber, where temperatures of 150 to 180 degrees Celsius transform each tiny seed into a rich, nutty treasure. Much like coffee, lightly roasted sesame yields a delicate, mellow flavor favored in Lebanon, while darker roasts produce a deeper brown color and bold aroma typical of Israeli style. Just a few minutes difference can turn a masterpiece into a disaster. Because roasting sesame isn't just a technique, it's a refined art. After being perfectly roasted, the sesame seeds are sent to the grinding stage to be processed into their signature smooth, creamy texture. Under intense pressure, they break apart, releasing their precious oils and quickly blending into a golden, honey-like stream. True tahini must have an almost perfectly smooth consistency. No clumps, no oil separation. Immediately after grinding, the tahini is poured directly into bottles or cans on a high-speed sterile filling line. Thousands of units are packaged every hour with absolute precision and hygiene, ready for the shelves with their full, authentic flavor intact. Tahini isn't just the soul of hummus or baba ganoush, it's the golden fat of Middle Eastern cuisine. Just one spoonful can brighten a salad, elevate a lemon garlic dressing, or enrich a batch of cookies with its natural creaminess. From vegetarian dishes to grilled meats, from cold sauces to warm ones, tahini always finds a way to assert its place in every modern kitchen. Do you think the journey of tahini ends here? Not at all. The smooth, creamy tahini, the very essence of the sesame seed, continues its path into a new chapter to become one of the Middle East's most iconic desserts, sesame halva. The process begins by heating a mixture of sugar, glucose syrup, and water in a large pot at a temperature of 120 to 130 degrees until it transforms into a thick, caramel-like consistency. This base is not just a foundation, it is the backbone of halva, determining its signature texture: crumbly, firm, and melt in your mouth. Just a few degrees off and the halva can turn rock hard or sticky like candy. Which is why precise temperature control is the fine line between success and a failed batch. Once the tahini and sugar mixture reaches the perfect level of cohesion, it's time to add the secondary ingredients that define the final flavor. Vibrant green pistachios, crunchy almonds, rich cocoa, aromatic vanilla, or sweet raisins all contribute to the distinct identity of each halva batch. These not only enhance the flavor, but also create a multi-layered texture, from crisp to soft, from nutty to sweet. In some workshops, the surface is finished with a topping of toasted sesame, shredded coconut, or chopped cashews, a unique signature that makes every batch one of a kind. Right after mixing, the warm halva mass is kneaded into shape and carefully placed into stainless steel molds for forming. This stage demands both finesse and precision. If the mixture is too soft, it won't hold its form. Once completely cooled, the halva is cut into neat square or rectangular blocks, ready to enter the packaging line. Each package of halva is not just a dessert, it's a cultural slice of Mediterranean cuisine, found everywhere from the streets of Istanbul to store shelves in New York and Tokyo. And without keeping you waiting any longer, let's head straight to the sesame oil factory, the part we've all been waiting for. Remember the sesame seeds that were thoroughly washed and roasted in the previous stage? Now, a large portion of them is sent straight into the sesame oil production line, starting with the most crucial step, hot pressing, the traditional and most effective method for extracting rich, aromatic sesame oil. The seeds are heated to over 100 degrees Celsius before pressing, which helps release the maximum amount of oil and develops the signature amber color and unmistakable toasty aroma. On average, 100 kilograms of sesame seeds yield 40 to 45 liters of hot-pressed oil, significantly more efficient than cold pressing, making it the top choice in the food industry. After pressing, the crude oil passes through multiple layers of filtration to remove all residue, impurities, and tiny particles, ensuring perfect clarity while preserving its original flavor. The oil is then moved to an automated bottling line in a sterile environment. Thanks to this fully enclosed and tightly controlled process, the final product retains its freshness without needing any preservatives. Just one small spoonful a day provides a rich dose of unsaturated fats, antioxidants, and sesamin, a valuable compound known to reduce inflammation, lower cholesterol, and support heart health. More than just a cooking ingredient, sesame oil is fast becoming a global superfood favorite.